Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. This is Moletrap, proceeding in a direction generally towards your location, and I am going to be doing a Pro League game here today. Another request game. So far, these random Pro League request games have been turned out pretty well. Someone requested the last one that I did, and there's Tempest, by the way. This is going to be Tempest versus movie. Someone requested Flash versus Baby, and that turned out to be a spectacular game. There's movie on your screen at the moment, by the way. That was Dallas. Mad props to him for recommending a sweet game, and for other reasons. And this is going to be a game that was requested by someone in the IRC channel, and I forgot who it was. Maybe it was Gooseheaded or Ghastly, one of those G-name guys. Recommended I watch this game here. So this is Movie versus Tempest, and let's see, let me check the colors here real quick, sorry. So Tempest is going to be the Teal Protoss player, and Movie is going to be the red Protoss player. Both these guys can play pretty well at times. Movie obviously is the sort of the bigger name here, having an OSL Silver under his belt, or was it an MSL Silver? Wait. He lost to Flash in the finals, as we all recall. Star League, I believe it was the OSL. I'm sure there's like 3 comments already by now that saying which one it was. But anyway, yes. So, but yeah, Tempest is a little bit less known. He's kind of a lower level player he plays for KTF. He's kind of like, one of their Protoss players to throw in after Violet, I guess. Anyway, so KTF has thrown in Tempest. CJ has thrown in Movie. CJ is up 2-1 by now, but at this point, by the way. So I'm sorry if I'm spoiling the results of the series at all for you guys. Anyway, yeah, so this should be a relatively even matchup. Movie definitely has a little bit of an advantage. He's just got a little bit. He just seems to have played a little bit better in the past. He's accomplished a little bit more. But Tempest has had his moments as well. He's made some Pimps plays. He's definitely capable of some solid play and capable of at least being a threat to the top players. There are some players that just will not be able to win against top players. Tempest, he's at least someone you got to watch out for. 1 time out of 10, he might pull something out. Anyway, both players playing relatively safe, relatively normal here. Both players just getting their gateways, getting their cores going on. All that kind of thing. Oh, crap. Before I forget, let me try and see if I can look up on my email. I keep forgetting to give a shout out to this guy who gave me a donation. And where is his name in my email box? I've lost it. Come on. Where'd it go? Anyway, I'll look for that in the background. Anyway, I love Protoss versus Protoss. Hopefully we'll see some interesting play here. Protoss versus Protoss can be very boring. It can be just you're building up a huge army and then attacking, and one player wins, and that's all there is to it. But it can also be pretty sweet too. If you have massive battles, lots of massive battles are pretty good. Here we go. Robert from Europe. He's from Romania and Transylvania. So thank you very much to Robert for sending me some skrills. Well, let's see. I'm working up towards the StarCraft 2 computer. I'm again really hoping that I can get StarCraft 2 going by launch date, because pretty much think I'm gonna get left in the dust if I'm not doing StarCraft 2 by launch date. Did you see that guy with his mouth agape? Wow. He was really, really intent on the screen, even though I guess he must not have realized that he was on the screen, or maybe he wasn't being shown on the screen. Or maybe he was just looking at something completely different and wasn't actually looking at the screen. Movie's expanding. Very interesting. We got Movie expanding. And I'm sorry I was looking up that guy's name in the background, but I think what happened here is that Tempest has canceled range on his core in order to build a fast citadel. It looks like range is not upgrading right now on Movie's core, but that's because he has expanded. So both players have decided not to go with range, which is kind of a normal thing to do, and instead to try and go for different tactics. Tempest going for fast Templar Archives. Look at that, Templar Archives already almost a third done there, And now he's putting it on Forge as well. Standard to make a Forge at the same time as your Archives-ish, so that in case the other guy goes for Templar Archives as well, you can get cannons up to protect from their Dark Templar. And basically Tempest is hoping that Movie does not go for a robotics, so go for an observatory first. If he goes for quick Reavers, or, say, an expansion, then he's going to be able to sneak some DTs in there and do some major damage before he gets an observation. But normally, with an expansion like that, he's going to try to, he's probably going to get the observatory up first, is what I'm expecting, because otherwise he wants to make sure he doesn't get caught off guard. Oh! Sneaks a probe in there, catches the sight of the cannons. So it's interesting that the cannons are actually giving away the fact that he's gone for a Dark Templar, because he wouldn't go cannons unless you were going for a Dark Templar yourself, because you'd have a robo facility so you could make your observers. So he's going for an observatory first, and the Dark Templars have a long way to go across this map, so they're not going to be able to accomplish anything. Look at this, he's setting up a nice line so that the DTs can't sneak through in the meantime. So well done by Movie, well played, snuck that probe in there and just barely saw those cannons. Just really kind of lucked out on that almost. And in fact, because he could have waited to put those cannons up a little bit later and been fine. And now Movie's getting that Citadel up. He's teching up rather. He's going to get Templar as well, because he knows that it's going to shift after this initial Dark Templar is held off. It's going to shift over, and it looks like the Observer is going to come out just in time. The Observatory is up. There's the Observer. It's going to float right over, and look at this timing. DT runs in, scouts. Oh man, and the DT even scouts, kind of dodges in and out, jukes in to see if he gets shot at, to see if there's an observer there, and there wasn't, so he went into attack, and that's when the observer arrived. So wow, perfect timing on that observer for Movie. Anyway, but he knows that things are going to shift over into Templar attack after the DTs are going to be followed up with HTs. There we go, there's the High Templar, and Storm. And Storm is superior to the Reavers, so he might as well just try and catch up and get that Storm as well. Storm can be superior to Reavers, depends on how they're used, obviously. But generally, the High Templar are going to be the superior tech that you want to get. Anyway, 4 gateways now going up. Well, it's 3rd and 4th gateways going up for Movie. He's going to go into macro mode. Both players are just going to go into macro mode at this point, basically. We're not going to see any harassment, really, until mid-ish game, when we might see some players doing storm drops or something like that. I love storm drops. Oh, I love storm drops. Movie has another observer out, so he's able to run in here and see what's going on in Tempest's base as well. So he sees exactly what's going on. Seeing what's going on. Oh, just a pylon. Okay, and cannons everywhere. Man, he is really worried about DT sneaking in here or Templar drops or something like that. And that's actually a very clever setup. Sometimes players do go for Dark Archon. Very interesting. Now, we saw this before a little bit. Oh, I was going to say, sometimes players do go for their first Templar, use their first Templar to go for a Storm Drop. So he's protecting against that by getting a cannon on the low ground, and the pylon on the high ground is going to spot anything coming in from that high ground beforehand. So he's not going to be able to just drop Templar on that ridge and storm willy-nilly. Anyway, but he's got a Dark Archon out, and I saw this before, and I don't remember who did it now, but it was just and I didn't understand what the purpose was at first, and later on I figured out that it was because he was going to try and mind control the shuttle of the enemy coming in. And he's coming in with the shuttle now. He's got Templar. It's a High Templar and a Dark Templar. Nice storm. Oh, Movie did not do the same tactic. He had the pylon up there, but he doesn't have the cannons there. And he also apparently wasn't paying attention to that pylon, so he didn't pay any attention. And Dark Templar snuck into the main supply line as well, getting so many kills. 3 kills, 4 kills on that DT. Plus, oh man, oh Jesus, oh 7 kills, 8 kills. Oh, he's fighting the DT with probes and observer, and he's going in for more. Shuttle has come back in here. What is he doing? Going for another storm drop? Whoa, does he have enough energy for storm? What is he gonna do? Oh, he runs most of the probes away. Gets one last storm off, gets one more probe. Here's the storm drop coming in from Movie, though, but he's all over it. There's observers, there's cannons, everything everywhere, and Movie is forced to fall back. Tempest is way ahead now. He has killed so much stuff, so many probes, but there's still that Dark Archon, which could come into things and could play interestingly into things, but I don't think at this point it can make up for the fact. He needed to get that. It was a clever idea, I think, getting that Dark Archon out, trying to get